Yeah, Overlord.
Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L and now let's talk Overlord, episode 12. We're almost at the end, guys. We're almost there. Anyway, cleaning up some stuff from last week, there were comments. There was one comment that clarified one point that I made last week about transitions and all that. And I will say thank you very much for that comment. And there was also another point that the comment talked about that I think really applies here. And that was a point about the anime could add more instead of taking away things. Or if there's a scene that's lackluster when it comes to the adaptation, that it pretty much could add more. And that is a thought that I ultimately have as I'm going into this with Overlord. Especially with the Sebas half, because the Sebas half just felt really anticlimactic. And I wish we could have had more. Like, the opening is more exciting than the anticlimax that is Sebas. But this is an issue of, well, that's how it happened in the light novel, and in the anime it's just, you know, they mimicked it. The big difference with the light novel naturally being it can explain more. Like when you go into the Sebas bit, you know, when Zero is using his totems, his totemist. I'm pretty sure that's what he was called in light novel, a totem user or a totemist or a tribal marks. Anyway, when he's using his marks, those are all buffs, right? He's buffing himself up. He's going to use his great move against Sebas. Because there's more explanation, there's a bit more build up. It makes it feel like slightly better. It gives you the illusion that it's more epic. Here, it's just Zero yelling out a couple of names, making glowing lights, and then Sebas axe kicks him. Which, like, in of itself, the axe kick does have some pretty cool anticlimactic qualities to it, and it makes it like, oh yeah, that's really funny. But this is now one of those points where it's just like, oh, that wasn't that enjoyable. I would have liked it if the anime added in a bit more of a back and forth, even if it was a fake back and forth. Like, heck, even if they just mimicked the opening and just had had Zero trying to hit Sebas, and Sebas just continuously moving around, I would have enjoyed that. But what we ended up getting was just it was anticlimactic. It's just if you were gonna have this anticlimax, you could have just had it in the last episode. I thought you were gonna make something big out of this, but nah. Those are my thoughts. Wow, I already just jumped into that. Well, that was like the biggest thing that I did not enjoy in this episode. The other aspects of the episode, though, I enjoyed it just because they were more on the funny side. So the funny aspects were just pretty cool, like, right? Like they made this episode more enjoyable, and truthfully enough, as we went towards the end, around the 17-minute mark when the song started playing, I was surprised. I didn't realize that the entirety of the episode had already gone by. So when I miss the track of time, I do like that, because it means I did enjoy it to some degree. So taking a step back from Sebas and just talking about other little things that were going on. You know, the episode had the reintroduction of Succulent, just showing that he was involved. And then you have the novelty of watching Succulent in a maid's outfit. Very funny stuff. I really actually enjoyed the climb and the thief part at the beginning. Because that was just, it was different. It was kind of cool. It was also cool to see Climb getting support from a support type character. There is some novelty in that, because that's like kind of the first time we are seeing this kind of cooperation with Climb and another character, and so I really enjoyed that. And then you have a kind of culmination to Climb's arc when it comes to his power development, when you see him going after Succulent. You know, he uses his martial art, I believe it was called ability boost or ability, something having to do with the ability. You know, it's pretty much that thing that Sebas gave to him, the ability to go past the fear of death, and that gives him like the adrenaline rush and all that. So he used that in combination with his overhead strike. And as we know, the issue with the overhead strike was it didn't really have a good follow-up move. And the move that Climb did this time as a follow-up, the ball crusher, holy man, I forgot about that. That was great. That was a great follow-up. Of all the things that Climb could have come up with to like hurt someone for a follow-up move, that one. And man, he kicked that guy with armor. Like, that was a ball crusher with an armor plated leg. Oh man, oh, that sucked. But yeah, that was pretty great. Climb for that half, like, Climb made it for me when it came to the action for that little bit. And of course, there's other little things that you can really appreciate there, mostly when it comes to the competence of the characters. Like Brain is aware that Suade is fake, so you also have like those nice little notes going into the characters, and it makes it overall worthwhile. After that, you know, you have the whole power build up between Brain and Zero, and it's like, whatever. We don't. They're just having a dick measuring contest, not the biggest thing in the world. Okay, so that was pretty much the Sebas and the climb part, and naturally I will say any bit with Suade and Sebas, I'm gonna enjoy it. When Suade is being carried out, I love that, man. I love it. On the flip side, you have Ainz and Nabe showing up, and the funniest thing here is of course Evil Eye being head over heels. I do enjoy this dynamic. I love this dynamic. It made that last half of this arc a little bit funnier for me, because it's just there is a sense of humor when you have the old vampire girl swooning over Ainz and calling him master and all that, and it's just it's funny. And even funnier is just Ainz's lack of perception into actually what's going on in the girl's head. So the humor is ramped up because of the interactions between the two, and I very much love it. It's so funny. Like I said, it's a nice way to grease the time to get past this episode. Of course, one point of note here is specifically the reaction to when they find out that Entoma got put down. It's always nice to see that uncharacteristic anger coming out of Ainz. So that was a moment of a lot of tension. Anyway, aside from that, I don't think there were any other really noteworthy little moments in the interactions with Ainz and Evil Eye, just because once Evil Eye is on her little flirt thing, they continue the dynamic and they play it up pretty hard. Once we get past that, though, we're pretty much steamrolling towards the conclusion here once the Flames of Gehenna show up. And we just have everything being set up, we have all the squads being made, and we end off the episode with a relatively disturbing image of Renner. Really strong way to end the episode, or at least a strong image to end the episode off on, with Renner rationalizing that now she can take care of Climb if he manages to fail. And even if he succeeds, it's still going to be a good time for her. So all good stuff. There is another thing that you could take in Renner naturally assuming that Climb has enough life force to be able to survive the process of being revived. But when you consider the revival process as experience, I'm pretty sure that the way it works is if you get revived, you have an experience penalty, and that your experience is technically your life point, or sorry, your life force. So I think that's like revival sickness. I believe that Shaltir also actually, I don't recall. I think Ainz has a better variation of the spell. But anyway, not a big point. It's just we're setting up for the finale here. You have all the forces mobilizing. You have Climb and all them. Let's hope that the finale delivers something pretty exciting. And truthfully, when it comes to Yaldabao, when it comes to Yaldabao and the Ainz battle, that's probably going to be a worthwhile fight to end off the season in. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for me. Pretty simple thoughts. I thought it was a pretty simple episode. But till next time, I hope you have a great day.